Full or Swisher House, he decided to shop his music around 2 different major labels. However, instead of becoming desperate for a deal, he decided to use the approach of, I'm not starving for a deal. I'll take one if it's good enough, but I'm completely fine if I don't. And it worked, with him eventually getting signed to Universal Music Group.
You know what I think is dope is when somebody can come and dangle whatever it is right in front of you, and you know that you don't need that.
Yeah, I love it. I do it all the time.
Now, people think that I have that mentality because I have money. When I had no money, when I had a little money, I always was like that. I remember we was about to get signed by Sony Records. We went to the CEO's house. We was there in New Jersey or something at his big mansion. And he was asking me about what we're doing. I told him at the time, I think I was making 8,000, 9,000 a show or something like that. I was like, I'm making 8,000, 9,000 a show. And he was like, what? And he stood up on his desk and pulled out money and threw it on the ground. Do a show for me. Yep. He was like, do a show for me. He's like, you bragging about that? He's like, you want to get plaques? You want to go platinum? You want to take over the world? You got to come to the big leagues. But he didn't like the fact that I was talking in a way like I didn't need a record labels. When I went to Universal and got signed, I had walked into every record label before Universal and walked in with their stickers on my shirt. And I walked in, Universal was looking like, you went to everybody except for us? And I was just like, yeah. And I started off the conversation saying, I just want to let y'all know I'm perfectly comfortable leaving here without a deal.
He ended up signing a joint venture deal between Chamillionare and Universal, which at the time was one of the hardest types of deals to secure, similar to what Birdman did with Cash Money and Master P did with No Limit. With the Universal deal locked in, Chamillionare was finally stepping into the big leagues, but unlike a lot of artists who get signed and immediately let the label take over, Chamillionare came in with this strategy. He already had the mixtapes, he already had the fan base, and now he had the machine behind him. So the timing of this couldn't have been better. And in 2005, he dropped his debut major label album titled The Sound of Revenge. And the rollout was flawless. He sold over 130,000 copies in the first week of putting this album out, hitting the number 10 spot on the Billboard Hot 100, then selling over 800,000 copies of this album by the second week, meaning that at an average cost of $13 an album, he generated between $10 and $11 million in the first 2 weeks with this album. And